It's like London's country park. People love to come here. We have horse riding, walking, jogging, all sorts of activities. People can come here. But we'll see in a minute, when we come here, you'll see the wonderful view and just see how close we are to London. Well, here we are on Snow Hill, and there is the Windsor Castle down the long walk, 2 miles. And here is King George III. This is the copper horse statue, and it was King George in 1760 who set up the Crown Estate, who now look after the park. But if we look here, we've got wonderful English countryside, and then over on my right-hand side, we see Heathrow Airport and London, and it shows how close we are to London. But if we turn the clock back and we think back to 1066, when William the Conqueror came here and he stood on this hill and said, I need a castle. And the Norman castle was built there, and here we are now, nearly 1,000 years later, and still the royal castle and still the royal park. To really make this place shine and make it the best, you have to love it. And we share 1,000 years of history. I often say we are looking after our national history and our natural history, because this is the history of the country, but we have trees and landscapes here which are very, very precious. Now this comes down to some ancient woodland, which is, it's the forest from maybe 800, 900 years ago. We'll see in a minute. One thing which is interesting, in the Great Park here, we have the largest collection of ancient veteran trees anywhere in the north of Europe. So this area here, you have some oak trees which are 800, 900 years old. And they're really, really important because not only are they ancient trees, they're also home to animals, to insects, to beetles, to birds. So when a tree dies, we leave the dead wood here, and the dead wood, they will rot, and insects and beasts live in it, then the birds come and eat them. So there's a whole, it's not a dead tree, it's a non-living tree, because it's still alive, because it has life inside it. So dead wood is as important here as living wood. We try and keep it alive as long as we can, but it's a natural environment, it's really important.
How many years is tree?
Maybe 800, 900 years old. Probably got another 300 or 400 years. There is a saying I've heard that an oak tree takes 300 years to grow, 300 years to live, 300 years to die. This one still has a long time still to go. And it's our job to just help them survive. We have a saying at Windsor, we like to keep 1 foot firmly in the past in history and 1 foot firmly in the future. So we have to look back, but we have to look forward as well. But the most important thing is to protect this view, this place, to make sure that in 100 years, 200 years, 300 years, someone else will be standing here looking at this view saying our job is to look after the park. So change, but protect as well.